Don't miss the 3-hour celebration of episode 300 of WDW News Tonight, live at 9 p.m. on February 27th on WDWNT TV. This is News Today with WDW News Today. I'm Tom Corliss of WDWNT.com. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit the notifications bell to make sure you never miss the latest from the Disney theme parks all around the world. But here now the news for February 27th, 2025. A quick note, it's a February 27th show. That's a Thursday. We don't usually do the news on Thursday, but because of things are kind of crazy here, and we're also heading out to Disneyland Resort this weekend to cover the California Adventure Food and Wine Festival. Because of that, you're getting a Thursday news show and not a Wednesday or a Friday. So we'll be back with more news on Monday. But of course, in the meantime, there'll be lots of other videos for you to enjoy here on the channel. There'll be a review of all the new items at the California Food and Wine Festival. And even over on the Universal channel, they're going to be checking out those new wands in the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, the new interactive wands. So lots of content this weekend, just a little less news. But now the news. Yesterday was the first day of Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind having standby lines, and we followed the wait times throughout the day, and here is what we noticed. Tiana's Bayou Adventure at the Magic Kingdom did not initially open with the rest of the park as it experienced a delay. The opening of the ride was delayed again due to technical difficulties. They're still having problems. At 9 a.m., guests were able to enter the standby queue despite the ride not operating, and at 9:38 a.m., Tiana's Bayou Adventure was open for guests with a 45-minute wait. 10 minutes later at 9:48, the attraction was still at a 45-minute wait. But less than 20 minutes later at 10:02, the ride had dropped to just a 20-minute wait. The low wait times in the morning were likely due to the colder temperatures, as it was only 61 degrees, with the high for the day being 68. But it was a deceivingly cold day, I will say. At 11:20 a.m., the wait time increased to 40 minutes, the warmest part of the day. Over the next hour, the wait time fluctuated back down to 25 before going back up to 40. And Tiana's Bayou Adventure dropped down to a wait time of 35 minutes, and almost an hour later at 2:23, it reached 55 minutes. Then at 3:34, the ride dropped 5 minutes in wait time to 50 minutes and reached 60 minutes at 4 p.m., which was the longest wait all day. At 5 p.m., though, they then stretched to 65 minutes. When we checked back at 6:40 p.m., the attraction was down again, and by 7:40, it was back up with a 25-minute wait. And at 9 p.m., it was down again with the temperature in the 50s at that point, and they did not reopen it. Meanwhile, at Cosmic Rewind over at EPCOT, they experienced much higher wait times on opening day than Tiana did. Tiana does have higher capacity, though. By 8:53 a.m., prior to the park's regular opening time of 9 a.m., the line was at a 35-minute wait. And just 20 minutes after the park opened, the wait time reached 50 minutes. And within 4 minutes at 9:24, they had skyrocketed to 170. A few minutes later, though, the wait time was dropped to 135. A cast member was out in front of the attraction with the "Line Starts Here" sign, directing guests of where to go. And when we first joined the line, the queue extended out past the Nova Corps Star Blaster ship and continued along the side of the building. Cast members remained in the area directing guests through the queue line and leaving an open space for those walking by to access Connections Eatery. The backstage area was also open to allow more guests to wait in the extended queue. Star-Lord was also out interacting with cast members and guests as they passed by. The wait time for Cosmic Rewind continued to steadily lessen over the next 2 hours and reached a 60-minute wait at 11:45 a.m. The ride's wait time hovered between 50 and 60 minutes until 4. At 5 p.m., we saw the wait time increase again, likely due to locals getting off of work and heading to the parks, now knowing they didn't need a boarding group. So the wait time jumped to 70 minutes, and then 75 at 6:40 and 85 at 7:40. And so I think especially over the next several days, you're going to see a lot of my fellow local pass holders heading over after work. So I would highly recommend not waiting to ride Guardians till 5 p.m. or later. We'll have to see with Tiana. It's a weird time of year to gauge that because it's cold out. And I know people are saying, oh, Splash Mountain was never that low. And Splash Mountain was that low when it was cold. So anyway, I know I've opened a can of worms, and I'm sure the comments will now have a lot to say. But either way, nonetheless, let us know in the comments how you feel about the standby lines now being open. But yeah, don't go to Guardians after 5 p.m. for a while, I'd say. The decor for the citrus blossom at the Odyssey Pavilion is being installed for the 2025 EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival. The citrus blossom is a returning outdoor kitchen for the upcoming festival that serves citrus-themed food and beverage items. Disney refers to all the festival-exclusive booths as outdoor kitchens, even though some are actually indoors. The entrance features the orange bird on the center panel, and behind him is a circular background depicting water, palm trees, and a rainbow. The background sits on a blue and yellow backdrop. On the doors to the left and right of the orange bird are graphics of citrus trees and bushes. Crews are present inside the Odyssey, applying citrus-themed decor to the walls. The window display decals of citrus fruits resembling oranges, limes, and lemons are present, and another window area showcases more citrus fruits with some above a doorway. To the right of the door is a decal of a yellow sky and palm trees. The corner window displays the logo for the citrus blossom. The decal contains an orange and lemon on the left with small flowers and a circular image on the right, similar to the background behind Orange Bird. Other side windows display citrus trees on yellow and orange backgrounds with a rising sun. Meanwhile, topiaries continue to be added. Figment has arrived overnight. The Figment topiary is located in the center of World Celebration Gardens. He sits in the planter shaped like the EPCOT logo with two giant pink flowers to the sides. The Figment topiary used to be over by his pavilion until this area of the park was complete. In the Communicorp Plaza planter, there's a new Orange Bird-inspired topiary. Similar to the topiaries at last year's festival, this is a topiary ball wearing Orange Bird mouse ears. The ears are orange with Orange Bird's face on one and a spaceship Earth pattern on the other. Both have green leaves sticking out of them, and a mini bow made of leaves and a white flower is in the center. On the back of one ear is Celebrating 30 Years logo for the 30th anniversary of the festival. At the start of the Bridge to World Showcase is a display of Mickey and Friends topiaries. The gang is depicted as having a picnic. Pluto is flying a kite. Minnie lounges next to a picnic basket. Mickey is at the back while Chip and Dale are at the front. There are two floral towers at the back corners of the display. More floral towers are in the flower bed at the entrance to World Showcase. These act as a backdrop for the 4 Encanto topiaries inspired by Luisa, Mirabel, Antonio, and Isabella. Mirabel has a yellow butterfly in her hand. Pico the toucan is perched on Antonio's shoulder, and Isabella is making an arc of flowers above her. Next to Disney Traders is another giant butterfly topiary. It joins the butterfly topiary outside of Port of Entry. And in World Nature, several potted plants are now awaiting actual installation outside the butterfly garden tent. Green scrims surround the tent. It's located between World Nature, between the land and Imagination. In a nearby flower bed under the monorail track are Toy Story topiaries. The display includes Woody, Bo Peep, and her sheep. And box planters on the left resemble toy blocks. The letters are ABC, and each is a different primary color with matching flowers blooming from their tops. They have Toy Story imagery on their sides. Sheriff Woody is depicted tipping his hat. The sheep, Billy, Goat, and Gruff have long, leafy fur, if you will, and Bo Peep stands with her shepherd's crook. She's wearing her full dress as seen in the first 2 Toy Story films. The Buzz Lightyear topiary, meanwhile, is in World Discovery. Topiaries of Asha, Valentino, and Star from Wish have arrived in World Nature. They're in a flower bed across the water from the Butterfly Garden. This set of topiaries debuted at last year's event where they were at the front of the park, but now the front of the park will see a new set of Moana topiaries this year. And as well, the star in Asha's hand will light up at night, as it did last year. In World Celebration, the Phineas and Ferb topiaries returned for the first time in 8 years. Since their installation, a bed of purple and pink flowers have been planted at their feet, and a trio of giant pink flowers with topiary centers are behind them. These 2 topiaries are in a flower bed behind Spaceship Earth near the path leading to Imagination. And again, in World Discovery, Buzz Lightyear has gone up. This is located in a flower bed in front of Mission Space. Buzz has one hand raised in a wave. The detailed topiary includes his Lightyear name tag, the Star Command logo, and colorful buttons. Behind Creation Shop is a playground. For the Flower and Garden Festival, it's being turned into the Camp Get Out and Play Garden presented by Off. There's a Camp Get Out and Play Garden sign at the playground's entrance. More signs throughout the playground space feature riddles and hidden objects. The one here reads, "On playing fields it's often found, this thing is fun to kick around." After solving the riddle, find the answer in the image. The images depict sports equipment, a picnic table of crafts, and a scenic night. The playground still has some spacey WALL-E theming, and when it's not themed to a festival, the playground is WALL-E's Green Landing Family Play Zone. Also, though the construction of the Stormalong Bay-inspired playground seemed complete a few days ago, an element of the playground is now gone. The Playalong Bay Play Garden has a blue cozy dome with 2 large wooden frames with hanging elements. There's previously a third frame near the front of the playground. It looks like the third frame might actually be on its side on the ground. You can see a shape behind the green scrim where the frame previously was standing straight. On the Rose Walk leading to World Showcase, there are now bee-themed props for the Honey Bistro outdoor kitchen. During the EPCOT International Festival of the Arts, the kiosk was Pop Eats, and among the bee props is a honeycomb panel with pink flowers, which guests can put their head through for a fun photo op. There's also a Bees by the Numbers board. Guests can stand next to the board to measure how many bees tall they are. The board also lists bee statistics, like the average number of bees in a hive, which is 55,000. This board features bee trivia. Guests can lift each honeycomb panel to see the answer to a question. Trivia includes how fast can a honeybee fly and what makes a bee buzz. A larger-than-life butterfly topiary is now stationed outside the port of entry gift shop. The back of the butterfly's wings are covered in yellow flowers. Giant teacups have arrived in the UK pavilion. These teacup planters make up the English tea garden, displaying plants used in different blends. Guests entered the tea garden through the trellis on the south side of the UK pavilion. The Shakespeare garden is on the north side. Each teacup sits on a giant saucer atop a podium. They are overflowing with flowers, and the garden will presumably be sponsored by Twinings again. In the France pavilion, the bouquet garden has been set up. This garden features rows of long-stem flowers, perfect for floral arrangements. The garden's sign and labels for each type of flower have not yet been installed. Near the France pavilion are topiaries of Miss Piggy and Kermit. Piggy sits on a large pink trunk with more suitcases and a purse stacked next to her, and Kermit is depicted riding his bicycle. In the Morocco Pavilion flower bed is the Spice Garden, featuring plants like parsley and ginger. There are 3 tall orb elements among the planters. This garden is outside the Morocco Pavilion restrooms. In the Germany Pavilion, the Gnome Garden has returned for the 2025 festival after debuting last year. The garden features 3 round topiaries decorated to look like magical gnomes from German folktales. They're in a flower bed outside the restrooms. One gnome wears a green hood. It has a red braided beard decorated with white flowers. And the center gnome has a tall pointed hat that curves in on itself. It's dotted with patches of moss. The gnome's face is almost completely covered by its beard. The third gnome has a red hat with strips of moss and twigs. It has braids around its chin. And also in the Germany Pavilion are elevated buckets of flowers. These displays are in a flower bed just a few yards from the gnomes. In the Norway Pavilion, a snowflake topiary has been added to the flower bed with Anna and Elsa. A trio of snowflakes is also in a flower bed across the walkway. As previously noted, the Elsa topiary has a new cape this year. On the walkway next to the Mexico Pavilion, the horticulture team has installed several bold and colorful plants. This walkway usually features the tropical rainforest and extraordinary orchids garden. Sure enough, there are plenty of yellow and pink orchids in the space, and some of the flowers are attached to trees. Others are blooming from ceramic pots, and there are clay pitchers among the plants. Last year, the Tropical Rainforest Garden's description read that you can uncover the rich biodiversity of the Mexican rainforest and learn about its highly adaptive species. There are now signs on several of the booths. These have the Coming Soon banners in their corners, since this won't open until next week. In the China Pavilion is the Lanwan Outdoor Kitchen. Germany Pavilion now has a booth sign for Bauernmarkt, the farmer's market. This booth is known for its potato pancakes. At the American Adventure is the Magnolia Terrace. This outdoor kitchen's menu includes the new grilled Gulf oysters with Cajun andouille sausage, butter, and lemon. The Japan Pavilion's booth is called Hanami, which refers to the Japanese custom of enjoying the beauty of flowers, usually cherry blossoms. The La Isla Fresca booth is located between Morocco and France. It'll have an all-new food menu this year, including Jamaican jerk chicken, seafood ceviche, and coconut chocolate flancocho. Fleur de Lis is the France Pavilion booth, and just outside the Canada Pavilion, the Northern Bloom booth has its flower and garden sign. Near the World Showcase entrance is Pineapple Promenade with its freshly installed pineapple-inspired sign. This booth will offer spicy hot dogs, my personal favorite, and Dole Whip pineapple. Approaching the Mexico Pavilion, guests will find Jardín de Fiestas, and though the sign is newly installed, the menu on the booth is leftover from the Festival of the Arts. It's worth noting Walt Disney World has released the full list of the kitchens and the menus for this year's festival. You can check out the full menus on our website at wwnt.com. The EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival will take place March 5th to June 2nd, 2025. Walt Disney World shared 2 sneak peeks of this year's EPCOT International Flower and Garden Festival annual Passholder exclusive merchandise. In the Passholder Buzz on the My Disney Experience app, a preview video showcases a new mug and 2 pins. A recurring image on the Passholder merchandise is a green silhouette of Mickey with his red shorts highlighted like a topiary. This appears on one side of the white mug with the word Passholder. On the other side is a more intricate design featuring Spaceship Earth, Mickey and Minnie topiaries, and colorful flowers. The festival logo is in the center. The Mickey topiary is pictured on one of the pins with flowers, the edge of Spaceship Earth, and the festival logo and Passholder. Another pin is blue with the image of a butterfly, the festival name, and Passholder in silver script. Disney revealed another pin, t-shirt, and ball cap in an Instagram reel. The hat is white with a green brim embroidered with Passholder on one side. The Mickey topiary is an embroidered applique on the front featuring fuzzy green fabric, again reminiscent of a leafy topiary. And near the back of the cap is a green logo for the 30th anniversary of the festival. The blue pin featuring Spike the Bee lounging in a flower also features a 30-year logo. The white t-shirt has a small image of the Mickey topiary on the left breast with the festival logo. A larger image of the topiary is on the back with flowers and Spaceship Earth. The festival logo is in blue and Passholder is in green. You can check out more new Flower and Garden Festival merchandise on our website. The festival again runs March 5th through June 2nd. A new Monorail-themed Mousewares item has arrived at Walt Disney World. We discovered the Salt and Pepper Shaker at the Emporium at the Magic Kingdom for $24.99. The Salt and Pepper Shakers are shaped like the front and back of the Walt Disney World monorail. And across each shaker is a red line resembling monorail red. The windows are also depicted on the shakers with black paint. The Salt and Pepper Shakers are ceramic and come with a stand for them to sit on that resembles the monorail's track. Another Monorail-themed Mousewares item we recently discovered is the Monorail-themed tongs. They feature the well-known safety warning on the side in both English and Spanish. The Emporium has a lot of the new Mousewares collection. You'll find it all there. If you want to check out more of it, you can also head to WWNT.com. We've been showing all of it as each piece arrives. This program is brought to you by our official travel agent sponsor, Be Our Guest Vacations. Your dream vacation begins with Be Our Guest and their concierge team of expert vacation planners. Head on over to beourguestvacations.com/WDWNT, and their team will design your next magical vacation from the Walt Disney World and Disneyland resorts to Disney Cruise Line to Adventures by Disney and more. They're also able to book unforgettable VIP tours where you and your group can experience the ultimate park day. But the best part is their concierge services are 100% free. So book today. No, you were late. Doesn't count. Disney has filed a permit to repaint the guitar at the entrance of Rock and Roller Coaster starring Aerosmith at Disney's Hollywood Studios. The notice of commencement contracts painting company Harrison Contracting Co. Incorporated. While most Disney permits list vague construction work, this one plainly states it's for Rock and Roller Coaster guitar repaint, with the description stating, contractor shall sand, apply 1 coat of primer and 2 coats HP finish. The Rock and Roller Coaster will be reimagined into a Muppets coaster featuring the Electric Mayhem sometime after Muppet Vision closes this coming June. A closing timeframe has not yet been announced, but it's possible this is one step in that process, or maybe it's unrelated. In that case, I bet they don't bother changing the guitar from red at that point if they're not going to bother changing it now, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. The PizzeRizzo limited edition pin that arrived at Walt Disney World on Tuesday morning was gone within hours. Maybe less than an hour, depending who you ask and where they were, after seeing long lines of collectors at each venue waiting to purchase. Collectors/resellers, I'm sure. The pin resembles the billboard at the quick service location and features Rizzo the Rat with the phrase, the city's top-rated pizza, and the PizzeRizzo logo. The pin is a limited edition of 2,500. We purchased our pin at the Dark Room at Hollywood Studios, but it now has sold out. Again, it's sold out at all locations now. It's completely gone. Guests showed up in droves, forming long lines at every location that had this pin. There was a limit of 2 per guest per transaction. Our reporters confirmed this was enforced by cast members, as it always is. Due to the Muppets being widely popular amongst guests and the imminent closure of PizzeRizzo and Muppet Vision, it's no surprise that guests showed up in numbers to purchase this pin commemorating the dining location. That being said, it has been a long time. Outside of like a park anniversary or a ride opening, I have not seen lines for pins in ages. This just doesn't happen anymore. So this was a pretty special occasion. What I hate about this, so this was part of the Pin of the Month set that's going to be different Disney restaurants. And so this one being more popular has probably hindered some people who are trying to do the whole set, because I bet you there's a bunch of people who bought this pin that won't buy the rest of them. And so those of you that decide to start or got the January pin and then weren't there when this one came out, like they either ruined your set or moving forward, they're going to dissuade people from buying the rest because they can't actually finish their set unless they go to eBay. But yeah, so I'm sure when they designed and created this pin, they did not know Muppet Vision and PizzeRizzo were closing. So it's kind of a happy accident, but it's good to see the support and the love. That's good. Maybe someone at Disney will take note. Construction walls have once again been set up around the doorway at Keystone Clothiers, which reopened, covered, and unfinished nearly a year and a half ago. In September of 2022, part of the wall around the doorway of Keystone Clothiers' facade collapsed, causing construction walls to be set up around the area. Walls remained up until September of 2023, when the doorway reopened, still not finished. Since then, the doorway facade has been covered by green construction materials as a temporary fix. The panels of painted wood were cut in an attempt to create an Art Deco-style door frame, I guess, and blue construction walls have now gone up around the doorway once more, hopefully to permanently fix this facade that broke well over 2 years ago. Over the construction walls, the green plywood door frame is still visible there, so it hasn't been touched just yet. TriceraTop Spin is officially gone. The DinoLand U.S.A. spinner ride at Animal Kingdom has been completely demolished. The ride closed permanently with the rest of Chester and Hester's Dinorama back on January 12th, and crews quickly began dismantling the ride, but only now is the ride completely gone, no longer visible above the construction walls. The ride's queue was also demolished over the past few days. The Cementosaurus still remains at one end of what once was Dinorama, but her days are numbered. The buildings of Chester and Hester's Dinosaur Treasures are still standing, and that's because that will be reused in the new Tropical America's Land. TriceraTop Spin was a Dumbo-style ride with a top-shaped center and teal Triceratops vehicles. There were comet decorations around the top and stars on the dinosaurs, and one of the Fossil Fun Games prizes was in fact inspired by said vehicles. The Carnival games, of course, have all been demolished as well. TriceraTop Spin opened with all of Chester and Hester's Dinorama in 2002, where it was a stopgap for capacity in the park that was much needed at that time. But of course, the park eventually did get much higher quality, added capacity later, and thus didn't really need this anymore. Extended evening hours will return at Disney's Animal Kingdom in May of 2025. Extended evening hours are a perk available to guests staying at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels, mainly deluxe and deluxe villas, allowing them to enjoy a select park after regular operating hours have ended and the park is closed to day guests. Typically, the extended evening hours happen at Magic Kingdom, EPCOT, or Studios, but in May, the extended hours will be at Animal Kingdom. On May 5th, Animal Kingdom will be open from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. An early entry for Walt Disney World Resort guests will take place 7:30 to 8 a.m. But the extended evening hours will take place from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Disney has not yet announced which attractions will be available during extended evening hours at Animal Kingdom, but past after-hours offerings for the park included Everest, Safaris, Flight of Passage, and Navi River Journey. More beach has been blocked, more walls have been installed, and another flying dumpster was spotted during our latest photo update of the construction on the new Lakeshore Lodge at Walt Disney World. Most of the construction of the new Lakeshore Lodge can be seen from across Bay Lake. Several tall cranes are still in place to move supplies. Since permits for the resort mention a 10-story hotel, it's likely that these cranes will remain in place for the near future. Each of the tall buildings was originally built as a separate structure, and work began in early February to connect each structure together into one unified resort hotel. However, the buildings are still at different heights, with this one having just finished installing the roof of the second floor. The red scaffolding to the right of the building is all new. As we moved past, another flying dumpster was spotted being dangled from a crane. Hi, Dumpo. Several construction crew members were standing below to help lower the dumpster into the correct place. Over in the next area, construction is not nearly as far along. Only short white beams have been installed in the earth so far, with many materials staged nearby for future use. Yellow barriers still float in the lake surrounding all the construction. These barriers will prevent any construction materials from accidentally floating too far away. Moving to the most completed section of the building, this area has already completed the majority of the second floor and is prep work on the third. Much of the metal scaffolding in this area is new, and many construction crew members were working on the walls as we passed. Several trucks and construction vehicles are parked at this far end near the water. Construction crew members were walking on top of the third floor near the crane on the right. The bench area near the beach has now been blocked, leaving only the seating area near the fishing check-in building available to Fort Wilderness guests. A majority of the land to the right is piled with uneven dirt. Disney Lakeshore Lodge is a new Disney Vacation Club resort currently under construction near Fort Wilderness. The lodge replaces the previously announced Reflections at Disney Lakeside Lodge. However, it's very likely it's pretty much the same thing with a different name. Summer House on the Lake at Disney Springs is now offering online ordering for the Cookie Bar. Summer House on the Lake is a restaurant located on the west side. The restaurant serves California-style cuisine and is themed. The theme is reminiscent of a summer house on the lake. They offer both indoor and outdoor seating. One of the staples of the Summer House on the Lake is the quick service Cookie Bar. At the Cookie Bar, guests can purchase fresh baked cookies, brownies, and other sweet treats. The restaurant just announced that guests can now skip the line by pre-ordering cookies and treats from the Cookie Bar online. The pre-order option can be found on the main page of the Summer House on the Lake official website. When guests select the pre-order now option, they're brought to the Cookie Bar menu, where they can view the sweet treats offered and their prices. Offerings available for online ordering include cookies, croissants, Rice Krispie treats, brownies, drinks, and more. After selecting the item you'd like to purchase, a checkout screen populates with the selected items. You can then choose the date and time of your pickup, and after confirming your pickup information, the checkout screen displays the restaurant's address, the Google Maps location, and accepted forms of payment. Summer House on the Lake is open from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Thursday and 11 a.m. to 11:30 p.m. on Fridays. On Saturdays, they're open for brunch from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and serve dinner from 2:05 until 11:30 p.m. And on Sunday, they also do brunch at the same time and serve dinner from 2:05 p.m. until 11 p.m. I think they have a brilliant business model, which is just like, what do people not like about the experience of getting a Gideon's cookie? Let's just defeat them. And I think they do on all fronts. The fact that I can pick up the phone right now, pre-order cookies, and go pick them up without a colossal wait is great. Now, which cookie do I prefer? I mean, I like Gideon's better, but I will say I really like Summer House on the Lake, both as a restaurant and as a cookie location. We just went recently, and I think their cookies are quite good. They're a completely different thing, right? The Gideon's cookies are those, half unbaked, gooey, big decadent things. And then these are like little, like one person can have one of these. Like they're a reasonable size. They're thin little cookies. They're a different thing, and I like both of them. But I highly recommend Summer House on the Lake, both for a meal, either for a meal, a cocktail, or a cookie. Highly recommend. I really like it. The 2026 Run Disney Walt Disney World Marathon presented by State Farm will have brand new storybook theming. Run Disney said on Instagram, "Come step inside some delightful Disney stories and even create a few of your own during the whimsical 2026 Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. Each race of the 2026 weekend is inspired by a different storybook genre, whether it's science fiction, adventure, mystery, romance, and fantasy. They feature the same characters as usual, though. The Walt Disney World 5K, the 3.1-mile race, will kick off race weekend with a sci-fi adventure led by Pluto the Astro Pup. The Walt Disney World 10K is a 6.2-mile run that takes you on a mysterious journey guided by super sleuths Chip and Dale. The Walt Disney World Half Marathon will be 13.1 miles and see romance in the air led by lovebirds Donald Duck and Daisy Duck. The Walt Disney World Marathon will set out on a journey of fantasy with the 26.2-mile course led by Sir Mickey Mouse and Lady Minnie. Goofy's Race and a Half Challenge takes on a more comedic theme, which is needed after you conquer both the half marathon and the marathon for a total of 39.3 miles. And of course, runners who accomplish this will get a bonus medal. And runners who finish all 4 Walt Disney World Marathon weekend races will not only rack up 48.6 miles, but can earn 6 medals for their accomplishment. And as well, one will be Dopey. It's the Dopey Challenge. Registration will open to Club Run Disney Gold and Platinum members on March 4th. General registration will open on March 11th at 10 a.m. Eastern. Quickly, I want to mention Carousel of Products at carouselofproducts.com. We have 3 new button-up shirts available. They're available in a bundle, which saves you $15. Never mind, you can also get your WIGS member discount if you are one. Those 3 new button-up shirts are a Spaceship Sunset, which is sunset on Spaceship Earth. It's very pretty. We also have 50 years of space, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Space Mountain all around the world. That's my personal favorite. And of course, we are resorting to some cheap 3D tricks in celebration of the farewell of Muppet Vision 3D this coming June. This is a pre-order for all 3 of these shirts. They will ship in April, so you could have them in time to say goodbye if you like, or for that summer Walt Disney World or Disneyland vacation or Disney Cruise vacation. So check it out. Also, pre-orders still open for our Intergalactic Lounge Singer plush. Sunny Eclipse can be yours. Head to carouselproducts.com. The Believe Key, the middle tier pass of the Disneyland Resort Magic Key program, is now sold out. The Believe Key is still available for renewal to guests who already have one. The Believe Key is the pass that costs $1,374 a year. Earlier this month, the Inspire Key, the highest tier pass, also sold out. At this time, the Enchant Key pass remains available for purchase and renewal. Meanwhile, the Imagine Key, which is only available for Southern California residents in specific zip codes, is available for renewal only, so that's sold out as well. Magic Key passes, of course, close sales periodically and reopen them periodically as well. They sometimes last a little while, sometimes they last a couple weeks. If you really want one, you got to be ready. Disneyland Resort has announced that guests looking to purchase Lightning Lane Premier Pass can now do so even further in advance. Starting on Tuesday, the Disneyland Resort extended the purchase window for Lightning Lane Premier Pass up to 7 days from its previous 2 days. The prices for this service vary by date and demand, and it can be purchased directly in the Disneyland app starting at 7 a.m. Pacific time on the first day of your advance arrival window. However, those who are visiting the resort with a Walt Disney Travel Company package can purchase Lightning Lane Premier Pass when they receive their park tickets 3 days in advance of their arrival date, subject to availability. Lightning Lane Premier Pass differs from multi-pass and single pass in that it includes all of the Lightning Lane offerings at the resort for one-time use whenever the guest would like in that given day. If you'd like to check out, we have a full video review of the service at Disneyland Resort right here on our channel. Disneyland's Main Street Opera House will soon be home to the new Walt Disney Audio Animatronic Show, and in preparation, the sign for the Disneyland story presenting great moments of Mr. Lincoln has been removed. Walt Disney: A Magical Life at the Main Street Opera House will debut the first ever Walt Disney animatronic when it opens on July 17th of this year. It originally was set to open this past May, but it was delayed until July just recently. The red and gold sign normally spans above the entire entrance to the Main Street Opera House and has been removed. It's unknown if the old sign will be updated to reflect the new offering or if there will be a completely new sign. The show will use new technology and archival voice recordings to bring Walt Disney to life in his office. Again, that show will debut on July 17th. Construction walls in Scrim have gone up at the Carthay Circle restaurant in Disney California Adventure. The construction walls in Scrim are likely for a routine exterior refurbishment of the venue. Tan scrim and scaffolding are visible behind the construction wall along the side of the building leading down the performance corridor. Along the side of the construction wall is a poster that reads, "The show must go on" at the world-famous Carthay Circle restaurant. The celebration is open. A red directional arrow is at the bottom of the poster and reads this way, pointing guests to the entrance. Around the corner leading onto Buena Vista Street, you can see more of the scaffolding through the scrim. A pathway has been left open for guests to still pass under the exterior facade amidst the refurbishment. To the left of the entrance, scaffolding has been set up behind the construction walls in front of the side of the marquee sign that reads Carthay Circle. The construction walls continue past the 2 pillars underneath the front marquee sign for the restaurant and past the check-in podium and up to the doorway. The restaurant is designed as a reproduction of the original Carthay Circle Theater built in 1926, which is one of the great movie palaces of the golden age of Hollywood, and of course, where in 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs premiered. With the booths now erected, we have our first look at the food and drink prices for the 2025 Disney California Adventure Food and Wine Festival, which will begin on February 28th and run through April 21st. The Disney California Food and Wine Festival marketplaces will include California Craft Brews, Cluck-a-Doodle-Moo, my personal favorite, Garlic Kissed, Golden Dreams, a reference to the attraction that used to exist at DCA, LA Style, Pepper's Caliente, Uncork California, and Mercado de Antojos, which is a new booth for this year. Additional offerings are available in other locations throughout DCA. For a complete list of items available and their prices, head on over to WDWNT.com. Hong Kong Disneyland Resort has announced another major expansion to their theme park, including a Pixar entertainment experience and more Marvel attractions. An all-new exclusive Pixar entertainment experience is coming to the park. Hong Kong Disneyland shared a map highlighting the experience's location between the existing Toy Story Land and World of Frozen. The experience will be a first and unique to Hong Kong Disneyland, but further details were not announced. Of course, that's a pretty big expansion pad. Originally, I think back in the day, there was some thought that Toy Story Mania was going to go there, but obviously the day and age of that attraction has come and gone. And so, look, they love live entertainment on this side of the globe, and so I'm not surprised that instead of a ride, we're opting for a new entertainment venue. And very excited to hear what this will be. Meanwhile, Hong Kong Disneyland also highlighted an expansion to their Marvel-themed area. The Marvel area was first announced back in 2016, and work began on creating the Stark Expo around the Iron Man experience, including replacing Buzz Lightyear Astro Blasters with Ant-Man and the Wasp Nano Battle. An e-ticket Avengers Quinjet attraction was announced, and Autopia closed to make way for it. The ride was supposed to open way back in 2023, but of course, they went silent on it back in 2019. However, in June of 2024, Hong Kong Disneyland announced an expansion was still planned, and they revealed the Spider-Man attraction at D23, the Ultimate Disney Fan event last year, of course rumored to be a Tower of Terror type attraction with Spider-Man holding onto your vehicle via his webbing. This is really, really exciting. I love Hong Kong Disneyland so much, one of my favorite places in the world. It's the most picturesque setting. It's such a charming and peaceful park. It doesn't get overrun with guests. It's a good time. And so to see them getting more love, even coming off of the last expansion with World of Frozen and the Moana stage and show in Adventureland and the new castle and all of that, to have a new daytime parade coming up, we'll talk about that in a second, the new daytime parade, all that coming up, a new theater venue, probably, we think, for the Pixar thing, and then a new e-ticket all on the way. Good for them. Very excited for them. Disney also revealed new details on the 20th anniversary celebration for Hong Kong Disneyland, including a start month for the festivities, a first look at the Encanto parade float, and more. The most magical party of all will kick off in June of 2025, Hong Kong Disneyland announced on Instagram. An invitation signed by Mickey Mouse reads, "Hiya friends, Hong Kong Disneyland Resort will celebrate its 20th anniversary with the most magical party of all kicking off this June. You're all invited. See you there, Mickey Mouse." Hong Kong Disneyland had only previously stated the celebration would begin this summer. Meanwhile, Mickey and friends will don new costumes for the Friendtastic Parade. The colorful costumes are mainly yellow with touches of green, pink, and purple. The parade dancers will wear mainly blue costumes with shiny stripes and long yellow tassels. In the video shared by Michael Moriarty, the managing director of Hong Kong Disneyland Resort, it shows a first look at the new Friendtastic Parade debuting for the anniversary. The first look was shared on his Instagram page. The parade was first announced in February, along with other details of this event. The first look showed a sneak peek of the parade's lead float, which will feature Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, and Goofy. You can see the whole gang together on the float. And the front of the float features the parade's name, Friendtastic, in block letters of blue, purple, and pink with gold tone framing. The Friendtastic Parade will be the largest in the history of Hong Kong Disneyland with 11 floats, as well as the first daytime parade since the Flights of Fantasy was retired in 2020. Hong Kong Disneyland shared a new piece of concept art of the Encanto float resembling the Casita. Mirabelle, Isabella, Luisa, and Bruno all appear on the float. A first look at merchandise includes various sized plush of Mickey and friends in special 20th anniversary costumes, which differ from the parade outfits, just so you know. There will also be special themed treats, like cupcakes inspired by Disney characters or featuring the 20th anniversary logo. The logo featured in the Instagram video you're looking at now has 3 spotlights creating the iconic Mickey shape, and in the center spotlight is the silhouette of the Castle of Magical Dreams. A glowing 2 is before the Mickey icon, together creating the number 20. Hong Kong Disneyland's 20th anniversary again will begin in June. No exact date yet. Their actual 20th anniversary is not until September. For the absolute latest on these stories and all that didn't make it into today's show, be sure to check WDWNT.com and follow us on all your favorite social media platforms. You can support the entire team behind this show and others by joining the WDWNT Interglobe Society at patreon.com/WDWNT. Get access to exclusive content, discounted show and event tickets, and more. Special shout out to all our WIGS members watching who make this show happen every week. For the worldwide leader in Disney Parks news, this is Tom Corliss saying, enjoy the rest of your today and have a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.